right, guys. Well, I'm literally blinded by that. What light? You want to close it? All right. Okay, first thing that I need you to do that I actually realized I forgot to tell you about is, can you get out the notes with that chart? The common base chart, you know which one I'm talking about? Okay, it says notes 5 exponentials. And then remember on the inside is where that chart is. Okay, if you do not have one, then I have some extra copies I can give you. Okay, if you need it, come get one right here. You need one? Do y'all need a charter when we all have we made notes 5. Any of y'all need a copy? Okay.
For us, there's the practice like the 7 people.
Yeah, not this week, it's next week. Not next week, well, I'm not saying.
What's the
I got it really wrong. All right. So y'all, for the most part, should kind of know how these review days work. The goal is we're not going to do every question together. We'll do a few questions together from each section. Then you'll have the rest of the time to finish. Answer key for the review is on Schoology, so that you'll be able to check your work. Okay? All right, are we ready?
Yes.
All right, so from the first page, you are solving mostly by common base. I'm going to just pick a couple of these to do. Let's start, please, with number 4. Okay, number 4, I have a log little 5. How do I undo a log little 5?
Big 5.
Big 5. So your big 5 on your log little 5 is going to cross out. 125 equals 5 to the x minus 4. Then you're going to go to your chart. Okay, we are looking for 125 and we are wanting to convert it to a base 5. So if you look right here, 125 is equal to what base on a 5? 5, 3. So you'd have 5, 3. Okay, 5 to the x minus 4. Hey, girls. Okay, and then from there, we're going to cross our 5s out and solve. So we would have 3 equal to x minus 4. Do we know what to do from there? Add the 4 across. Very good. Okay, so 3 plus 4, that would give us x equals 7. Okay, next one we're going to do is number 2 from the top row. Okay, I'm still in my 5s chart, but I'm looking for what a regular 25. So look in your chart. What is 25 as a base 5? 5 squared. Now, when you do that, okay, watch this. It's 1 over 5 squared. And then x minus 3. Okay, if you have a 5 squared on the bottom, what do I have to do to be able to pull that squared term up? Put a negative. Very good, Tomar. That's correct. So it should be 5 to the x, 5 to the negative 2, x minus 3. Okay, and then if you want to make a little note for yourself, okay, that negative came from the fact that it was a fraction. Okay, then from there, you can kind of repeat the process, cross the 5s out, and solve. So I have x equals. Remember that whatever old exponent was already there, you're going to have to distribute into that. So my negative 2 times x is a negative 2x. What about negative 2 times negative 3 plus 6? Okay, from there, what do we do next? Get our x's together. Okay, plus the 2x across. So an x plus 2x means that I have a 3x equal to a 6. Then do what?
Oh, yeah, you do that.
And divide by 3. So your final answer for that one would be that x is equal to 2. Okay? All right, let's go down to number 8, please. How do I get rid of a log little 2? I put a big 2, very good. So my log little 2 on my big 2 are gonna cross out. And I have x equals 2 to the negative 5. Okay, in your chart, what number is 2 to the 5? I'll put mine up there. 32, but if it's a negative 5, do you remember you fraction it? So this would really be 1 over 32. Okay, so remember that if 2 to the 5 is a 32, then 2 to the negative 5 is just a 32 on the bottom. Okay? Let's do another one like that. Let's do number 7 right next to it. How do I get rid of a log little 25? Big 25. Big 25, log little 25 cross out. My 3x minus 7 is going to carry down, equal to my 25 big to my 1/2 small. And then what is a little 1/2 up top the same as? It's a square root. Very good. So cross out your 1/2, turn it into a square root. And what is the square root of 25 the equivalent of? That's really just a 5. Now, let me remind you that you do get to use your calculator. So let's say that you forget on your test day that a 1/2 is really a square root. You can type in 25 to the 1/2 and your calculator knows that's 5. So just kind of keep in mind, you have a calculator, use it. You know what I mean? All right, then from there, what do we do to solve? Plus 7, thank you. 5 plus 7 gives me 12. And then you're going to divide by 3 to get 4. Very good. Okay. Last one from the bottom, maybe for us to do, let's do number 10. What is the base if no little number is listed? Very good. 10 is correct. So if you want to write in a log with no base counts as a log little 10. And how do I undo a log little 10? Big 10. Now, before I do that, I actually did not realize. Do you see this little -1? That's got to go. You cannot get rid of the log if you have extra stuff with it. So I'm going to plus this one across first. So that now my 1 plus 1 on the other side is a what? Good. So you have log little 10 of 2x minus 20. And then 1 plus 1, now that's a 2. Okay? Then from there, to get rid of my log little 10, we're going to do a big 10 on both sides. My big 10 and my log little 10 cross out. I'm just going to keep my 2x minus 20. And then for my 10 squared, I can look it up in the chart or I can put it into the calculator. Okay, but what is 10 squared the same as? 100. And then from there, you would just kind of continue solving. So how do we get rid of the -20? Plus it. 100 plus 20 is 120. And then to get rid of that times 2 in the front, we're going to divide by 2 on both sides. 120 divided by 2 gives me 60. Okay? All right, when you're ready, go ahead and turn the page. We'll hit a few more from the next section. Okay, now for the front, Okay, pretty much all of your answers came out to either nice whole numbers or fractions. Okay, for the calculator section of your test, okay, you're gonna round to the hundredths place. Okay, and if you don't know, that's 2 decimals. Okay, and this is just like we've done the last 2 days of class. That's what we've been rounding to. So we're just gonna hit a couple of these. Let's start with number 16. What number in number 16 should I eliminate first? The 1/3 in the front or the -9 in the back? Take a guess. Not the 1/3. So it has to be the 9. How do I undo a -9? Plus it. So 2 plus 9 gives me an 11. Now I'm ready to get rid of the 1/3. A 1/3 means divide by 3. How do I undo divide by 3? Multiply by 3. So my 3 and my 1/3 are going to cross out. I have 6 to the x plus 3 equals, and then 3 times 11 is now a 33. Okay, from here, how do I get rid of a big 6 space? Log little 6. Okay, and then this is where I taught y'all how to put this in the calculator. So my x plus 3 comes down. And then I'm going to put this in the calculator. Let me remind you the buttons. Okay, they're up here at the top of your paper. It's alpha window 5. Alpha window 5. And that'll open up your log with the 2 boxes so that you can type 6 into the little box and 33 into the big one. So that gave me 1.95. Am I done? My x still has a plus 3 on it. How do I undo that? Minus the 3 across. So 1.95 take away 3 gives me negative 1.04 followed by an 8. And then remember the 0.4, if it's followed by an 8, that's going to bump up to negative 1.05. Okay. Questions on that? All right, let's do one with an E in it. Let's do number 19. What number do you think you should get rid of first on number 19? Negative 4 is correct. So we're going to plus 4. What is 9 plus 4? 13. Okay, from here, I still can't get to the E because there's a times 3 in front. How do I undo a times 3? Divide by 3. Now, if 13 could divide by 3, I would do it. But since it can't, I'm just going to leave that as a fraction. So I have e to the negative x and then 13 over 3. Okay, how do I undo a big E? Do you remember from last class? We're going to log little e, but it has a special shortcut. Do you remember? ln is correct. Very good. Good job. Okay, remember that ln and e cross each other out. ln is the natural log base e. So if you're trying to get rid of a big E, you're going to log little e, and you have an ln shortcut on your calculator. The ln shortcut is right here next to the 4. So you can do ln and then type in your 13 over 3. Now remember, if you remember that ln is a log little e, you could also do it this way, but your little box would have to be an e. And you see how the numbers come out the same either way? So it really doesn't matter. The ln shortcut's obviously easier, but if you forget about it, log little e will work. Okay, from there, my negative x equals a negative 1.466. And then that's not an x by itself. How do I get rid of that negative from the front? That's really like a negative 1x, so I'll just divide the negative 1. So I'll have a minus 1.47. Okay, and remember, the reason that happens is your 46 is backed up by another 6 that bumps your 0.46 to a 47. All right, let's do number 23. What number has to go first before I can get to the ln? 23, the 3. Divided across. 27 divided by 3 gives me 9. Now, for your test, that ln 5x, really there should be parentheses around it, so if you want to add those. Then how do I get rid of an ln? Who's the partner for ln? E. Remember, E and ln are buddies. They fix each other. So my E and my ln are going to cross out. And then you should remember from last class that E is on the second divide by button. So second divide by pulls up my E, then I put up to the 9. Okay, remember, E should be your big base. 9 moves up as the little exponent. So I got 8,103.08. And then what's my next step to get rid of the times 5? Divide. And then remember, for your test, use the long decimal and then just round at the very end. So my 0.61, if it's followed by a 6, will go to a what? 61 will go to a 62. That's right. So your answer would be 1620.62. Okay. I feel like the rest of those on that page you should be able to do. So can we just, the last half of this is easy. Can we just kind of keep going and finish it? No. All right, turn the page. So besides solving, okay, the other thing you have to know how to do for your test is expand and condense logs. So let's do number 28. I see that I have a half on the outside. I'm going to multiply that in. So a half times a 5 becomes a 5/2 log A. And then a half times a minus log B becomes a 1/2 log B. Then remember, when you're condensing, there's a rule that those little front numbers can just kind of magically pop up to be exponents. So I'm going to cross my 5/2 out and put it up top. I'm going to cross my 1/2 out, put it up top. Okay, then from there, I'm going to combine the logs to be shared. But if they're originally minus, how will I combine the A and the B stuff? Will I multiply it or divide it to get them to share? Divide it, very good. So it'll be log fraction. My A to the 5/2 is the top. My B to the 1/2 is the bottom. Now, that is not your final answer because we know that halves are really what symbol? Square roots. Very good. So my A is to the 5th, but then it's also square rooted. And then if my B only has a 1/2, that would only be a square root. You wouldn't have to put like an extra number on it. Okay. All right, last one we're going to do from that section is number 25. Can you pull any front numbers up that need to be moved up on number 25? What numbers can I move?
5.
The 5.5. Very good. Okay, then I notice that my X and my Y are added, but my 3 is subtracted. So when I combine, big fraction, my X5 and my Y 1/2 will both get to be on top, but my 3 will end up on the bottom. Now, remember, last time we talked about LNs are really just a specific log. So that's how come the rules are exactly the same. That if you have a log question or an LN question, the actual math you're doing is the same. Now, for that part of your test, it's multiple choice. You won't see a half like this because what's it the same as? Square root. So really, that would be x5 square root y over 3. Okay. But for that part of your test, it's multiple choice. So you should kind of know what you're looking for. All right, go down to the bottom part of your review. Let's do number 31. Okay, here you're going from one log to multiple logs. You're breaking it down. So I see that my P, Q, and R are P cubed times, P cubed times the Q and then divided by the R. So when I break each of those letters down into their own log, I want to make sure that the multiplied ones get added and the divided by ones get minused. So that'd be log P3 plus log Q minus log root R. Then remember, any top numbers have to move down. Which number am I talking about? The P3. And what's a square root really in disguise? A 1/2, and then I can drop it down to the front. So I'm going to have a 3 log P plus a log Q minus a 1/2 log R. Okay. All right, from here, let's check number 32. Okay, number 32 is a little bit harder because you have a number on the outside, but hopefully you can do it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take that 2 and just pull it out to the front. Okay, because we know that if you have a top number, it can slide down to the front for logs. So here's what I have now. 2 log, and now I just have to break down the A6 cubic root B. How are the A and the B right now? Multiplied or divided?
Oh, wait, better.
Right now they're divided, which means how are we going to split them? Plus or minus? Minus. So here's what I have. Log A6 minus log cubic root B. Then I'm going to take both of those top numbers, slide it down to the front. So I'll have a 6 log A. And what will my cubic root turn into? Do you remember? A 1/3. So remember that a square root is a 1/2, a cubic root is a 1/3. And then I'll pull it down to the front. Okay, now this answer is almost right, but what did I forget about that I took down to the front at the very beginning? The 2. And so that 2 needs to apply to both of those outside numbers. So you could leave it like this, but I'm pretty sure on your test the 2 is times 10. So what is 2 times 6? 12 log A. And then 2 times the 1/3 would be a 2/3 log B. Okay. But remember that this version of the answer really isn't wrong. It's just not quite finished. Okay, this one would also be correct. All right, turn to your last page. We're doing 2 graphs and then you're done. You will, for your test, have a little cheat sheet since you're testing on a Monday, and that obviously sucks. So you'll get to use that sheet when you're taking your test. You'll have like a little cheat sheet, okay? So let's do the first one. Which way does a -2 shift the graph, left or right? So the right is correct. What about the +6? Up 6. So go to the right 2 and up 6. through that spot, you're going to draw your horizontal asymptote, which is a flat line that your graph cannot touch. Because I cannot touch that line, I draw my marker dot exactly one box above that spot. So I'm going to go through here. And then I'm just going to sketch the graph so it would look like this. Okay, and your graph on that doesn't have to look perfect. Also, remember you have a graphing calculator. So you're welcome to type it in and check what the picture looks like if you need. My asymptote is a horizontal asymptote, and it happens at y equals 6. What is the domain of my graph if I have arrows on both sides? I'm going to put the all real numbers shortcut, but you could put infinity to infinity if you want. Okay, then for my range, remember it's lowest to highest. But what is the lowest that this graph can go before it hits that pink line?
Oh, it's
6. So it'd be 6 to infinity. Now, one other thing I want to point out to you is that does my graph actually get to 6? No, because it can't touch it. That's why this is a parentheses. Okay, and it has to be a parentheses because you can't touch 6. Okay? One question left. We're going to do number 36. Okay, last one. Number 36, what does a -2 do to your graph if it's with the x? Left or right? To the right. What about the +6? Up. So you're going to go to the right 2 and up 6. Now, because this is a log graph, instead of a flat asymptote, you're going to vertical asymptote. So instead of a horizontal line that you can't touch, it's a vertical line. And then remember, instead of stepping one box up, you step one box to the side. So you would go right here. And then remember for your log graph, you go down and towards, up and away. Okay? What is the X line that my graph can't touch? What number? So put VA at X equals 2. And my domain is not all real numbers, and here's why. As my graph is going to the left, it gets cut off at what X value? 2. So your domain is from 2 to infinity, but your range is all real numbers. And remember, any log, your range is all real numbers. Because it's this shape, you're just sliding it side to side. Okay? Do y'all feel like you can finish this on your own? Perfect. Okay. I'll put the key on Schoology for y'all. I think it's not up there yet, but it'll be up there soon. And then B-Day kids, good luck and have a great weekend. Bye.